A beloved franchise that so many people are really excited to see the continuation of is Mass Effect. But the question is where is this game at this point in time? Obviously, Mass Effect 5 or the next Mass Effect game was announced in 2020, and we've heard very, very little about this game up to this point in time ever since that teaser. So the years have gone by, and I want to talk about everything that we know about it at this point, and I would love to have a real conversation with you guys in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, in an article coming to us from Richard Lee Breslin of Gaming Bible, for millions of gamers, the Mass Effect series means so much to its loyal legion of fans, and its community is no less passionate 16 years after the launch of the original game. Developed by BioWare, the same studio that brought us the original and critically acclaimed Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, when Mass Effect was released in 2007 for Xbox 360, it became an instant classic. The original Mass Effect would later find its way on PC and PS3 before benefiting from a remastered collection across multiple modern platforms, which also included Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, and all previously released DLC as part of the Legendary Edition. To address the elephant in the room, in 2017 we had Mass Effect Andromeda, which at least for the most part takes place around 600 years after the events of Mass Effect 3. This troubled entry in the series launched with bugs that would spawn internet memes for millennia, and despite being a much better game now, its mud continues to stick. After all, you only get one chance to make a first impression. I agree with that, but I will say that Mass Effect Andromeda, where it is now, is much, much better than when it first launched. And I think underneath all of the bad things, the bugs, glitches, things of that nature when it first started, is something special. I really thought Andromeda was actually a really cool entry in Mass Effect's franchise. And yes, even though it had, some issues along the journey and it's not as good as the original trilogy, I still enjoyed Mass Effect Andromeda. And so it leaves me to believe that, obviously BioWare, they did not, just abandon Andromeda. Andromeda, they continued, they believed in it, they continued to improve upon those, bugs, glitches, and things of that nature, similar to like a No Man's Sky or a Cyberpunk 2077, and now it's in a pretty good state. That being said, though, what could happen in the next game, I'm really excited about. I think that this is something that, if we know anything now about what BioWare and what they did with Mass Effect Andromeda, is if Mass Effect 5 ends up being, something that has a lot of bugs and glitches, I believe BioWare, they're not going to just abandon the game. They're going to continue updating it and making it, be as good as it possibly can be. And I think that's the best way, because we see games like No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk 2077 releasing in terrible states, and now we see where they are, and it's unbelievable how big those are and the scope that those games have gotten us to at this point in time. Thankfully, fans of the BioWare series rejoiced in unison when Mass Effect 5 was announced with a teaser trailer during the Game Awards in 2020. Unfortunately, since that time, we've heard very little about the progress of Mass Effect 5, and despite approaching 3 years since its initial announcement, we do not have a release date. That being said, in 2022, a BioWare blog post confirmed that the next entry in the beloved sci-fi RPG series had begun its early development. However, a recent rumor has brought to light some potentially new details and involves BioWare ditching its open world formula that was introduced in Mass Effect Andromeda in favor of its classic format, which I think, by the way, guys, would be massive. Not having open world, going back to what made Mass Effect great in the first place, I definitely think that's the way for them to go. I've heard that Mass Effect 5 is ditching the open world, claimed Corden, and is going back to its classic format. I don't know if that's accurate 100%, but it's an industry rumor. Obviously, we can take Ches Gordon's word on this speculation, so we should take it with a pinch of salt until BioWare confirms otherwise. At this stage, we don't know what works best for Mass Effect 5 regarding a massive open world or the classic formula. Sometimes having a massive map can work to the detriment of the game, and something more linear can work in a game's favor. After all, a more linear approach worked wonderfully for the original Mass Effect trilogy, not to mention that they were all massive games for the time in terms of scope. And I 100% agree, guys. I think that, in my personal opinion, they should absolutely ditch the open world, go back to what worked in that Mass Effect trilogy. In recent news, BioWare has reportedly laid off around 50 employees, which not only spelled potential doom for the development of Mass Effect 5, but also Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Mass Effect 5 is expected to be released for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. And guys, yes, lots and lots of unfortunate layoffs are happening around the entire industry. And I gotta tell you that I still believe that Mass Effect 5 as well as Dragon Age Dreadwolf are both still going to happen. It just may delay this in a pretty major way. I think that we may still be years away from Mass Effect 5. I think we may hear more about it in 2024, but I don't think it's going to release until 2025, 2026, maybe even 2027. So we may be a number of years away because of them having to scale down on how many employees they have, things of that nature. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope this comes out sooner than that. Obviously, we want it to be released when it's ready, not when there's going to be bugs and glitches and it's not fully polished. I'd much rather BioWare just wait until it's fully ready to go and then release it to the world and we can all enjoy it for years to come. Let me know what you guys think though. Where is Mass Effect 5 at this point in time? Do you think it's in a development hell or a limbo state, a state of no return? Or do you think it's just something that is years away? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Mass Effect 5 content and videos, keep it here with zrotv.